Sports has always been known for the different characteristics it possesses, which are joined together to produce the most entertainment that you'll seldom find elsewhere. Even if it is a game of two amateurs, you'd agree that a valiant comeback can get your heart rate pumping with all the excitement. Just like any other sport, boxing is no exception either. The comebacks only make the experience better for the viewers. Just imagine your favorite fighter at his wit's end until the last round, and boom, a vicious uppercut is all it takes to win the fight. These moments make the sport of boxing remarkable, as all it takes is a single, devastating punch to turn the tides. Today, we'll be talking about the top 10 biggest boxing comebacks. But before we start, we want to ask you to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. After that, we are good to go. Number 10. Mike Weaver vs. John Tate. The fearless Mike Weaver signed up to fight the WBC champion of the time, John Tate, in 1980. The clear difference in abilities had the fans predict an easy win for Tate, as it was Mike's first shot at the title against someone with a record of 20-0. Even the betting odds or so were in his favor. As the match began, Tate was quick on his feet and dominated Weaver effortlessly. This wasn't only the story of the first round, it went on for the entirety of 10 rounds as Weaver struggled throughout the match. What happened in the final round of the fight ended up shocking the entire boxing fan base. Just when Tate was 40 seconds away from clinching the victory, Weaver struck him with a perfect left hook and knocked him out cold on the canvas and went home with the WBC championship. Number 9. George Foreman vs. Michael Moorer. Up next on the list, we have a fight that was brewing for quite a while out of desperation from George Foreman, who was looking for any chance he could get at a title shot. The age difference didn't matter to Foreman one bit, as he finally chose Moorer to be his next target for the title. Moorer was least bothered about Foreman's experience and accepted the challenge. The fight took place on November 5, 1994, with Moorer coming out as the stronger of the two, keeping Foreman on the back foot for the majority of the fight. Despite having a major lead on the scoreboard, Moorer kept looking for the kill in the 10th round. Foreman capitalized on this mistake and unleashed a ferocious 1-2 combo to knock out Moorer, and hence regained the championship at the age of 45. You have to agree that this is one heck of an incredible feat. Number 8. John Molina vs. Mickey Bey. Taking the 8th spot on our list deservedly, John Molina vs. Mickey Bey will leave you speechless, to say the least. Bey had been on an unbeaten streak for a while, and his eyes on the prize, John Molina's title. Instead of the champion having the upper hand throughout the fight, the roles were switched here, as Bey was dominant with his slick boxing ability and connected multiple times until the 10th round. The situation wasn't any different in the 10th round either. Bey's barrage of heavy-hitting punches had John defending the entire time. However, Bey couldn't foresee a single left hook, and upon getting hit by it, he started wavering and became prey to John's barrage of furious punches. After a few combinations, the referee was quick to intervene and gave a TKO win to John without a second thought. Number 7. Andy Lee vs. John Jackson. In 2014, Andy Lee and John Jackson were chosen to fight each other, and the winner would go on to fight the WBC title holder, Matt Korobov. The stage was set for Andy Lee's title shot, since he was the better boxer out of the two. However, on fight night, the fight was nowhere as easy as Andy Lee had expected it to be. Jackson was on Lee right from the get-go and managed to knock him down in the early first round. You'd be surprised to hear that this was the first time Andy Lee was knocked down in his professional career. He managed to get up, but the beatdown followed for a few more rounds. But the lack of patience displayed by Jackson ended up being a pivotal reason for his loss, as his final barrage was defended and countered by Lee's flawless right hand, dismantling Jackson to the point of no return, hence winning the match despite a poor start. Before we continue with another insane comeback, we want to ask you to like this video. It will help us big time. Let's dive into number 6. Number 6. Carl Froch vs. Jermaine Taylor. Coming in at number 6, we have the fight between WBC super middleweight champion Carl Froch against the former undisputed middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor. Both the fighters were so good that you wouldn't have been able to guess the victor of this magnificent battle. During the first few rounds of the fight, Carl Froch was completely outboxed and received the first knockdown of his career in round 3. Every single person in the boxing community was shocked at the sight of the iron chin Carl being knocked down so easily. While he did recover a few rounds here and there, Taylor was in a comfortable lead and was looking to see the fight out. However, with just 1.5 rounds to go, Froch rattled Taylor out of nowhere with a point-blank straight right and knocked him down by following it with different combinations. Despite getting back on his feet, Taylor had no fight left in him as the referee called off the fight with just 16 seconds to go in the last round. Number 5. Acelino Freitas vs. George Barrios. The unbeaten Freitas decided to put his title and record on the line against the underdog George Barrios. This fight earned a lot of attention due to classic Brazil vs. Argentina rivalry, so the pressure was on the both of them. In the hotly contested brawl, Freitas was knocked down twice in the 8th and 11th rounds. You'd think that there's no coming back from this. However, he went all in with his chips and retaliated by knocking down Barrios by the end of the same round, and eventually ending Barrios' dream by concluding the fight in the next round. Number 4. Chris Eubank vs. Michael Watson, Part 2. The first fight between these two fighters had unfortunately ended in a close majority decision, so the stakes were quite high for the next one. The fight was rather neutral for the first 11 rounds, but Watson was ahead on points. In the 11th round, Watson showed no mercy as he marvelously dropped Eubank on the canvas. It was safe to assume that Watson would come out as the victory, but Eubank ended up shocking the world by striking a rigorous uppercut to the jaw right after getting back up, which put Watson out of the fight right there and then. That's right, Eubank not only rose up, but also went on to win the rematch. Number 3. Juan Manuel Marquez vs. Manny Pacquiao IV. This is a fight that the world will never forget, which is why it makes it to our top 3 picks. The rivalry between the two had lasted a long time due to the controversial decisions of the previous fights. This was the last fight to prove who was the better boxer, so both Manny and Marquez went all out against each other, evident from the first 6 rounds of the fight. It was so intense that Marquez knocked down Manny in the 2nd round, but the favor was returned in the 5th round as he knocked down Marquez as well. The contest was back and forth until the final 10 seconds, where it seemed as though Manny had caught Marquez napping. Just when all of us thought it was all over, Marquez's rampant overhand counter knocked out Manny clean, who many of us thought had it covered. Marquez abruptly finished the rivalry with one of the biggest comebacks in the history of boxing. Number 2. Julio Cesar Chavez vs. Meldrick Taylor. This was a contest that the world desperately wanted to see, so they made sure to make it happen. To unity their world titles, they were pitted against each other with both having the intentions of ending the unbeaten streaks. For the most part of the fight, Taylor had Cesar on the ropes, but as you'd expect from a title champion, Cesar continued to cause gradual damage to Taylor, despite getting hit constantly. As the fight was nearing the end, Taylor received horrible advice from his coach and came out aggressive in the last round. Obviously, an exhausted Taylor was going to get caught by Cesar's offensive, which is what exactly happened as Cesar battered him with the right hand and marked the end of an era for Taylor, who was never the same afterward. Number 1. Diego Corrales vs. Jose Luis Castillo. For our number 1 spot, it is Diego Corrales vs. Jose Luis Castillo, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, both were champions who intended to unify their titles, so they were no less than beasts. The fight that lasted 10 rounds was back and forth. Corrales' eye was complete, but by the 7th round, which put him at a major disadvantage as Castillo continued to rock a powerless Corrales. Trying his best to survive, Corrales waited for the right opportunity to turn the tides, which came in the 10th round where he slipped through a massive left hook, followed by a devastating fury of punches that knocked out Castillo and finished his title reign. Interestingly, Corrales even stated that he'd even walk through hell to win the fight, which he rightfully did so. With that being said, our list of top 10 biggest boxing comebacks comes to an end. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Please also let us know which comeback inspired you the most. I take my farewell now. Take care, and hopefully we see you on the next one.